Good morning, good night, good afternoon, good night. Wherever you may be in the world, thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show, Saturday and Proverbs. Thought I'd come on a few minutes early so I can get my little miscellaneous talk out of the way. A lot going on, man. A lot is happening. And like I've always told people, this is not the time to get caught up in your emotions. Take your emotions out of it. And sometimes, you know, you're gonna be screwed over. It's just that simple. Sometimes life is just gonna F you over. So you might as well buckle up and get ready for that. Okay. Um, but the main thing is not to panic and to get discouraged. That's the main thing. Those are your two biggest enemies is discouragement and wanting to give up. Okay. Those are the two enemies that are gonna be constantly at you. And and sometimes they come through family, strangers, coworkers, friends. Sometimes they're gonna come in that fashion, and you have to be dedicated. Because if you ain't dedicated, you're gonna give up. It's just that simple. If it's not in your heart, you're gonna quit. And most folk are doing things that are not in their hearts. They're doing it because it's the popular thing to do, and that's the wrong reason. Do it because it's in your heart. And if it's in your heart, then it's sincere and it's genuine, good or bad. If it's coming from your heart, it's genuine. Okay. And y'all know today is the 10th. Oh, by the way, happy Mother's Day to all of the moms all over the world. Happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day. Tomorrow is in some places. Today is Mother's Day. It's May the 11th. Tanya, happy Mother's Day to you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Um, but and that's and see if we just if right now, if we just start healing families, we could heal the world. If we just start healing families, we'd heal the world. And that's what we gotta get back to, man, is the healing. All this fussing and fighting and bickering and that's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. It really is unnecessary because nobody profited. Okay. Thank you, Costa Rica. Um, but these are the things that we're not paying attention to. The stuff that is keeping us divided because we're too busy jumping on what's dividing us. We don't want to. We're scared of unity. And it's nothing to be afraid of. Like I said, there's a chapter. Proverbs is my favorite book in the Bible because there's a chapter for every day of the month, 31 chapters in Proverbs. And when there are not 31 days in the month, just keep reading until you catch up. So today is the 10th. And like I said, happy Mother's Day to all of the moms. Okay, happy Mother's Day. Um, so today is the 10th, so we're gonna start on the 10th chapter of Proverbs. Okay. Now, the reason I like Proverbs because Proverbs will show you how to live today. It don't show you 2,000 years from now. Today is your birthday, man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jeremiah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Um, but yeah, you don't have to go back 2,000 years with this with Proverbs. Proverbs will show you today, and that's what people are missing is yeah, there you go. Happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, there you go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Matter of fact, let me hide this person because I told y'all I don't uh, um uh I don't people that just pop up and make uh, a profile as a troll. as long as YouTube been around, you mean you just discovering it? Get real. Anyway, let's pray and get in the word. Father, I thank you for another day around your word. Speak through my mind, speak through my heart, and speak through my lips, that I may articulate your word to pierce the hearing, the vision, and the hearts of your children, so that we may live the righteous lifestyle you have ordained for us to live. In Jesus' name, amen. Um, I'm reading from the Message and the New King James Version, so you can get that parody. Okay? Wait a minute. I unhid you. No, I didn't. I hid you. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Tanya, thank you so very much. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you. Yeah, that's what I wanna hide you, buddy. Yeah, hide you. Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. You're the first one today. May there be many more after you. May there be many more after you. Thank you. Okay. So, like I said, I'm reading from the Message and the New King James Version. Okay, so to give you the parody of the two. All right, verse 1: Wise son, glad father. Stupid son, sad mother. Think about that. Wise son, glad father. Stupid son, sad mother. In the New King James Version, it says, a wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish son is grief of his mother. Okay? A wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish son is grief of his mother. And you can see all of this foolishness with this stuff going around with these dudes. That's how they get they street cred, is going to jail and got embarrassed everybody, okay, to get some street cred. This is how twisted it is. Here it is. Verse 2: Ill-gotten gain gets you nowhere, and honest life is immortal. Okay? In the New King James Version, it says, treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivers from death. And again, a lot of people get these word righteousness and perfect mixed up. They're not the same. Okay? All right. When you live a righteous lifestyle, you just ain't taking advantage of nobody. You ain't hurting nobody. You ain't stealing from nobody. That's when you live in a righteous lifestyle. Didn't say you wouldn't cuss a mofo out. Okay? But that's what you're doing. Okay. Um, Now, I hope y'all can hear me. I hope y'all can hear me. Um, Verse 3, God won't starve an honest soul, but he frustrates the appetites of the wicked. See, and here again, this is why I'm trying to tell y'all, man, um, what living a righteous life will do, even with all of this turbulence that we got coming up. God is gonna put a safety net out there for you. God is gonna protect you. God is gonna shield you. You know, yes, you're gonna go through some hard times, but it won't be as rough and rugged as somebody without his protection. And seeing right now, this is what you want to do. You want to put yourself in a position so that you can get God's protection. Okay? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to put yourself in that position. And if you don't wanna put yourself in that position, then you suffer the consequences. It's that simple. You're just gonna have to suffer the consequences, man. And unfortunately, a lot of people want to play the blame game. And it's not about blame. It's about, you know, what you putting out in the universe is what you getting back. Okay? In the New King James Version, verse 3 says, the Lord will not allow the righteous soul to famish, but he cast away the desire of the wicked. Okay? The Lord will not allow the righteous soul to famish, but he cast away the desire of the wicked. Well, if he ain't gonna let your soul famish, that means that, you know, you're not gonna be without. So what are you worried about? That's a good question, True Conductor. Verse 4, sloth makes you poor, diligence brings wealth. In the New King James Version, it says, he who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Um, Hello, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. Wait a minute here. I... Wait a minute. Wait a second here. You say Matthew 7:21-23. Let's see what we're working with here. Well, you got a lot of that going on. A lot of that is happening right now. That you got a lot of Christians well, a lot of people who are parading as Christians and scared to speak to each other, and they believe in the same Jesus, and scared to speak to each other. See, so but you want me to believe in your Jesus, but you scared to speak. Verse 5. I don't know nothing about that song. I have no idea about no true Scotsman. I have no idea what that is all about, or who that is. I have no idea. But let me see who you are though. Let me see who you are. Okay, you came in 2012. Yeah, I have no idea what No True Scotsman is. I don't. I'm not the sharpest knife. I'm sharp with the music, but I'm not the sharpest. Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Random. Um, whether you want to talk about Christianity, whether you want to talk about Islam, whether you want to talk about Buddhism, or whatever these religions are, you're talking about a lifestyle, a way of life. Okay? This is what you're talking about. And these ways, this way of life has through all of these religions has similar traits. They just use different names. Okay? So we talking about a way of life here, my friend. You know, unfortunately, you get a lot of people that are stuck. Well, see here again, you know, there lies in everything. But then there's truth, even in lies. There is some element of truth that's even in a lie. Okay? And it's gonna be up to you to do that. All right. So anyway, let me get back to the to the let me get back to the scripture. All right, he who has a slack hand becomes poor, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. Um, verse 5. Make hay while the sun shines. That's smart. Go fishing during harvest. That's stupid. So what it's telling you is that, okay, matter of fact, in the New King James Version, it says, he who gathers in the summer is a wise son. He who sleeps in harvest is a son who causes shame. I mean, see, when you sleep in harvest, you know, that's when you're listening, when you are expecting people to give you something instead of getting out getting it yourself. Okay? All right? So, um listen, man. You know, nobody's making you stay up in here. Okay? I don't have a gun to your head. All right? If you don't agree with what's going on, then go on to another channel. I don't want to block you. Okay? But you're a distraction now. And if you just want to come up in here and be a distraction, why don't you start your own uh, Bible verse on whatever day you want to do it, rather than being disruptive? Since you done read the Bible from cover to cover, get your own, okay? And see how easy it is. That's how we'll do that. All right? Um, verse 6, blessings accrue on the head of an honest life, but the mouth of the wicked is a dark cave of abuse. In the New King James Version, it says, blessings are on the head of the righteous, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. And see, and that's just listening um, to what people are saying. It's like when a person walk up to you and say, "Do you believe in Jesus?" You can tell them anything. How they gonna know? I mean, seriously, Steve, man, thank you for that $10, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Steve, for that $10, man. Thank you. The reason I like Proverbs. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I got it. Just got it. Respond to it too. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Thank you very much. Um, let's see. Let's see. Here we go. This is what I'm gonna do for you. This is what I'm gonna do for you. Cause you don't need me much of a choice. Why don't you go get Proverbs and read yourself? Okay. Then. Yeah, that's what we'll do for you. Just get rid of that. All this confusion, man, this ain't the time for no confusion. If you that adamant and that strong on an issue, then you need to start speaking up and representing that issue instead of okay, Tanya, see you, thank you, instead of doing that. All right. Verse 7. A good and honest life is a blessed memorial. A wicked life leaves a rotten stench. Let me read that again. A good and honest life is a blessed memorial. A wicked life leaves a rotten stench. In the New King James Version, it says, the memory of the righteous is blessed, but the name of the wicked, will rot. All right. See, and here again, listen, man, all you got is your word. That's all you got in life is your word. And either you gonna be a person of your word or you ain't. It's just that simple. Because that is what people are going to judge you by. How you keep your word. How you treat your word. Okay? It's what people are going to judge you by. And sometimes they will just lump you in the category with everybody else, not even, okay, I see, not even separating the two. Okay? That's why it's important you live an honest, righteous lifestyle. Okay? Verse 8. A wise heart take orders. An empty head will come unglued. In the New King James Version, it says, the wise in heart will receive command, but a prating fool will fall. That's the person you can't tell nothing. That's got all the answers. You see? Won't listen. That's who this is, and some of these are your children. That got all of the answers, know everything, your grandchildren, you can't tell them nothing, and then they go out and knock their head up against the wall, and they want some of your sympathy when you tried to tell them, it's a wall down there from the beginning. But they didn't want to hear that. And now that they done ran into the wall, they want your sympathy. They want your understanding. But when you was trying to give them some instructions, they didn't want to listen. Okay? Verse 9. Honest lives, honesty lives confident and carefree, but shifty is sure to be exposed. In the New King James Version, it says, he who walks with integrity walks securely, but he who perverts his way will become known. Man, when you walk with integrity, you say what you mean and mean what you say. Ain't no guessing about who you are and what you up to and what you doing and what you represent. People know that. Okay, when you walk with your integrity, because you ain't always right. When you walk with your integrity, see, and you can recognize when you ain't right. When you walk with your integrity. See, a lot of y'all don't want to hear that because you too busy pointing the finger at other people and what they're saying and what they're doing, and you ain't trying to clean up the mess in your own house. See, clean that up first. Then you can help. It's okay to share. All right? Verse 10. An invasive eye
is a sign of trouble ahead. But an open face-to-face meeting results in peace. In New King James Version, it says, "He who winks with the eye causes trouble, but a prating fool will fall." He who, you ever been in a conversation with somebody and they, wink, wink, give you a wink? Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. You know, compromising. It's going to cause you trouble. Verse 11, the mouth of a good person is a deep living, a deep life-giving well, but the mouth of the wicked is a dark cave of abuse. Let me read that again. The mouth of a good person is a deep, life-giving well, but the mouth of the wicked is a dark cave of abuse. And seeing this is how you know the difference. When you're dividing people, you're walking in darkness. Let me say that again. When you're dividing people, you're walking in darkness. Now, how do you recognize somebody that is divisive? Easy. They always, them Democrats, them liberals, them conservatives, them Republicans. You see, there's always an identity with this person. Okay? They are always dealing with identity. And and this is what I'm trying to get. They're good and bad in both parties. Good Democrats, bad Democrats. Good Republicans, bad Republicans. Good liberal, good what's the neutral party? And bad neutral. Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. Okay? Well, you ain't committed to nobody. But this is what we got to do: separate the good from the bad, man, and stop lumping people together. Okay? Verse 11. Verse 12. Hatred starts fights, but love pulls a quilt over the bickering. In the New King James Version, it says, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins. Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins. And see, didn't say you forgot. It says it covers. It means you let it go. I actually had a homeless guy steal a donation bucket from me down in front of the White House, and boy, he hit a good bucket too. He picked the right time to hit the bucket, and this particular scripture, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins. Man, I couldn't all night was, man, don't overlook that. God ain't let me down yet. God ain't let me down yet. Even though the devil come and try to do some stuff, God ain't let me down yet. And see, and this is what I be trying to tell y'all: put yourself in a position so that when you do call on God, He will listen to you. He ain't gonna ignore you. He will hear you, because you are in good standing. Didn't say you were perfect. but it says you're in good standing. And right now, if you want to get in good standing with anybody, you need to get in good standings with God, okay? Because that's going to be your way out. Verse 13. You'll find wisdom on the lips of a person of insight, but the short-sighted needs a slap in the face. In the New King James Version, it says wisdom is found on the lips of him who has understanding, but a rod is for the back of him who is devoid of understanding. That's a person you can't tell nothing. That you got, see, with all of the stuff that's getting ready to happen now, somebody should need to say, hey, maybe we ought to try to form a coalition to come together so that we can, split up some resources among us rather than depending on somebody else to do it. Let's come together and form our own resources. And now you becoming interactive. Now you're knowing each other. Now you're talking. Now you're communicating. Okay? But all this fussing and bickering and fighting, it's destroying everybody. Verse 14. The wise accumulate knowledge, a true treasure. Know-it-all talks too much, a sheer waste. In the New King James Version, it says, wise people store up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. Because, they half of the stuff, they tell on themselves through this thing called social media. Verse 15. The wealth of the rich is their bastion. The poverty of the indigent is their ruin. In the New King James Version, it says the rich man's wealth is a strong city, but the destruction of the poor is their poverty. And see, and if you see, at some point you have to decide where you fit in. At some point, at somewhere, you're gonna have to decide where you fit in. Okay. Verse 16. The wage of a good person is exuberant life. An evil person ends up with nothing but sin. In the New King James Version, it says, the labor of the righteous leads to life. The wages of the wicked to sin. Okay, so ain't no good going. You when you come out here, man, you messing over folk. Ain't no good gonna come out of that. Ain't no good gonna come out of that. All this revenge and this get even and ain't no good gonna come out of that. Ain't no good gonna come out of it. And if you wishing and believing that some good is gonna come out of that, you wasting your time. Okay. Um, Verse 17. The road to life is a disciplined life. Ignore correction and you're lost for good. In the New King James Version, it says, he who keeps instruction is in the way of life, but he who refuses correction goes astray. Man, I mean, you can see that in court every day. Okay, you got a bunch of kids that you can't tell nothing, you can't show them nothing. All right, you can't advise them on nothing because they got all the answers. But yet, everything that you was trying to expose them to, they later run into down the road. And then they want you to feel sorry for them, to have some sympathy for them when you tried to warn them and they wouldn't listen. Verse 18, liars secretly hoard hatred, fools openly spread slander. In the New King James Version, it says, whoever hides hatred has lying lips, and whoever spreads slander is a fool. That's a person that, see, that's the go-to person that want to know everything about everybody, that's in everybody's business. Can't control their own, but they know what everybody else is doing. Okay? Whoever spreads slander is a fool. Yeah, I want to be the first one with the clickbait. Verse 19, the more talk, the less truth. The wise measures their words. Uh, in the New King James Version, it says, in the multitude of words, sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise. In other words, whoever learn how to listen instead of talking is the wise one. Because folk can only know what you know or don't know when you open up your mouth. That's what reveals what you know and what you don't know when you start talking. So if you don't know, the wise thing to do is shut up. Don't say nothing. Just sit there and listen. Verse 20, the speech of a good person is worth waiting for. The blabber of the wicked is worthless. In the New King James Version, it says the tongue of the righteous is choice silver. The heart of the wicked is worth little. Verse 21, the talk of a good person is rich fare for many, but chatterboxes die of an empty heart. The talk of a good person is rich fare for many, but chatterboxes die of an empty heart. In the New King James Version, it says, the lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for lack of wisdom. Why is that? Because you can't tell them nothing. I'm here. Thank you for joining me. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Verse 22. God's blessings make it life rich. Nothing we can do can improve on God. And in the New King James Version, it says, the blessing of the Lord maketh one rich, and he has no sorrow with it. See, when God started blessing you, ain't gonna be no sorry, ain't gonna be no repossessions, ain't gonna be no foreclosures, ain't gonna be none of that. When God started blessing you, and you got a lot of people going out here getting in debt, talking about, look how God blessed me, and struggling from paycheck to paycheck. That's not a blessing from God. Guilty. Guilty. Trying to be impressive. Guilty. Guilty. Trying to make something work. Guilty. I'm telling you, been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Verse 23. An empty-headed thinks mischief is fun, but a mindful person relishes wisdom. Man, here's an example I can show you an example of this scripture that just happened right up here in this area. They had 3 o'clock in the morning. These 3 white kids thought it was a prank to be beating on folk doors. And one of them and a black guy shot and killed him. And the black guy got arrested. When they was doing a TikTok prank, listen what it says. An empty head thinks mischief is fun, but a mindful person relishes wisdom. In the New King James Version, it says, to do evil is like sport to a fool, but a man of understanding has wisdom. I mean, look at the things that people are doing just for subscribers, just to get it subscribers. Look at the stuff that they do. You know, and here's another example. See, social media in some cases has made the need for an education obsolete. You got girls that are high school dropouts making more money on OnlyFans than a woman with a PhD. And that's facts. Okay? That is facts. Verse 24, the nightmares of the wicked come true. What good people desire, they get. The nightmares of the wicked come true. What the good people desire, they get. In the New King James Version, it says, the fear of the wicked will come upon him, and the desire of the righteous will be granted. But if you ain't living right, how do you qualify? And in order to take advantage of what's being offered, man, you got to live right. Verse 25, when the storm is over, there's nothing left of the wicked. Good people, firm on their rock foundation, aren't even phased. When the storm is over, there's nothing left of the wicked. Good people, firm on their rock foundation, aren't even phased. Good people. See, so when you see and this is what it says in the New King James Version, it says, when the whirlwind passes by, the wicked are no more, but the righteous has an everlasting foundation. And you don't think that there is some benefit to you living right, to you being right? Even if you personally don't benefit, somebody on your bloodline will. Some of the good that you're doing today is for kids you would never see in your lifetime. But you are planning some good deeds for some generations that you'll never see. Verse 26, a lazy employee will give you nothing but trouble. It's vinegar in the mouth, smoke in the eyes. In the New King James Version, it says, as vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so is the lazy man to those who send him. And how you know a person is lazy or not? His work ethic. It's going to tell you everything. A person's work ethic will tell you everything you need to know about that person. Because anybody that has not had any kind of discipline applied to them are not going to have a work ethic. They're not going to have it. They're going to be the foolish one, the one that nobody wants to listen to. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that because of pranks, man. And see, you can see, and this is one of the things that sadly I think that people um, mistake is not really knowing the culture of where they're going. You know, if you don't understand the culture of where you're going and thinking what goes in America goes everywhere else, you sadly mistaken. You sadly mistaken. And you know, that's a terrible way to be on a foreign land to do something stupid and can't get no help. That's not a joke, man. That's not a joke. Verse 27. The fear of God expands your life. A wicked life is a puny life. In the New King James Version, it says, the fear of the Lord prolong days, but the years of the wicked will be shortened. Verse 28, the aspirations of good people end in celebration. The ambition of bad people crash. In the New King James Version, it says, the hope of the righteous will be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked will perish. And you're going to see that happening today. You're gonna see that happening today. Verse 29. God is solid black backing to a well-lived life, but he calls into questions a shabby performance. In the New King James Version, it says, the way of the Lord is strength for the upright, but destruction will come to the workers of iniquity. Verse 30. Good people last. They can't be moved. But the wicked are here today, gone tomorrow. In the New King James Version, it says, the righteous will never be removed, but the wicked will not inhabit the earth. Wicked man ain't going to inhabit, ain't got no place to run, man. Verse 31. A good person's mouth is a clear fountain of wisdom. A foul mouth is a stagnant swamp. A good person's mouth is a clear fountain of wisdom. A foul mouth is a stagnant swamp. In the New King James Version, it says, the mouth of the righteous bring forth wisdom, but the perverse tongue will be cut out. And in verse 32, the speech of a good person clears the air. The words of the wicked pollutes it. In the New King James Version, it says, the lip of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked, what is perverse. And that's that. And those are the people that say, um, my man say today's parents are soft. They're soft because of the laws that have been passed, you know, against parenting. You know, where in my generation, somebody that didn't even know you could whip your butt and call home and tell Miss Cora what they did and why they did it, and she give you another one. But you do that today, man, you get arrested. you try to put your hands on somebody's child today, you get arrested. You know? See that, and that's one of the things that back in the 80s when I ran for mayor that I complained about was, you see, you had a whole bunch of parents that when the teacher was trying to teach their child in school and the child wouldn't listen and you wasn't nowhere around to be found, see, everything was hunky-dory. But the minute something happened to your child, you want to be the loudest one screaming and crying. But when the opportunity to correct them, to keep them from walking down the path that they're now on, you wasn't nowhere to be found. You see, and this is gonna be one of the mistakes, which is gonna further erode the trust factor in us. Is that, you know, people gonna be a flash in the pan and jump up overnight, and folk are gonna think they the real deal because they're a flash in the pan. And then when the people get discouraged and let down, they want to blame everybody but themselves. They ain't gonna take no blame for it. And that's what we got to change, man. We're going to change that. If we're gonna, if you know, and notice I say we, none of us are perfect. But we gotta be willing to sit down and talk to each other and stop talking at each other. That's where the problem is. You know, too many folk want to talk to each other and don't want to talk at each other. I mean, want to talk at each other and not talk to each other. That's what people are doing right now. And that's what we need to. I mean, good people. You mean tell me no good people that are tired of this? Don't want to see this no more? Want to try something different? No good people? Where are all the good people at? That's what I want to know. Where the good people at? That's the problem. If you want to get the good people are the ones that are sitting on the sidelines doing absolutely nothing. Okay? Absolutely nothing. Good people. So if we can just change that narrative, okay, we'll be able to change the world. At least try anyway. There's nothing wrong with trying. There's nothing wrong with trying. Okay, that's the end of Proverbs, y'all. Of course, y'all know this is my day of rest. I don't do no work on Saturdays. I'm not a Seventh-day Adventist or Jehovah Witness. I just follow my calendar. My calendar goes from Sunday to Saturday, not Sunday to Monday. And you know, tomorrow, first day of the week, a lot of people will be celebrating as the Sabbath. And if that's your choice, I can't knock what you believe. But if you look at today's religion, it's more about tradition than it is principles. And that's what most people are caught up in is tradition when it comes to religion. And it's just messing up the whole world. Because, see, again, you know, people are not going to um, separate the differences. They just gonna lump everybody together. And if we could just separate the good from the bad, we'll have a better place. You know. So, and the most difficult thing that you have to deal with. See, a lot of people are opinionated about what should and should not happen, but uh, they're not going to take a stand. That's so rude, man. That is so rude. And see, those are some children that don't get a lot of time. They don't see. You can tell a child that people are investing in, people that care about, because they're gonna spend some time with them. And you'll find that the children that get the most attention are the ones that are the most attentive. You know, when you have children like that, the screaming and hollering, they seeking attention from everybody. Okay, and everybody's not good for children. I just I just I just noticed. I've seen this guy um, jog around, and he comes down in front of the White House, sweaty and with his tight shorts on, whatnot. And I just happened to notice the other day that it's a bunch of eighth graders that were visiting, and how he made it a point to be walking through them children. You know, I don't know what he be looking for or what he's trying to find. I have no idea. But that's the one place you don't want to come to and lose your mind and think ain't nobody watching you. That it's a free fall. It ain't. You come down to that White House, buddy, they gonna know who you are. They gonna know who you are. They'll know everything about you. I'm telling you. And people right now, see, there. One, there is no privacy. You can forget that dream if you think you got privacy. You ain't got no privacy, man. Yeah, these things here listen to everything you say. You know, it's just about everything you got. Be listening to what you be saying. And sometimes it'll tell on itself because you could be talking and your phone say, "I didn't get that." You'd be like, "I wasn't talking to you." You wasn't supposed to get it. But there ain't no such thing as privacy, man. Don't get caught up in your emotions, y'all. Because if you do, you're gonna miss out. Now it's not the time to get emotional. Now is the time to pay attention. All right? I'll see y'all later.